anything. There you go. 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 All right. Not only has Coach Williams brought some players from Texas A&M with him, he also brought some tremendous members of his staff from Texas A&M, and one of those is going to join us right now for a couple of minutes to explain more about the analytics of basketball. He's the director of basketball strategy and analytics at Maryland, and TJ Ryan is with us. And you talk about an important aspect of a basketball program today, TJ. What you do is more important than people really understand.
Yes, sir. I think the analytics and us kind of maximizing what we can do between the lines, but also in our thought process that goes into basketball is really important. I'm very blessed in my role to have an understanding of the numbers, but then to work for a coach who values it in the way that he does and values the information. He just wants as much information as possible so he can educate himself on the decisions that he's going to make and then help educate our players to learn how to best maximize their own potential in whatever their role might be.
Were you a numbers guy growing up?
Math has always come somewhat easy to me. I've always liked numbers. I've loved basketball, though. I know we talked about it before, but my dad was a Division II basketball coach my entire life growing up, now turned athletic director.
Eckerd College.
Eckerd College, yes, sir. So staying around it. I want to help Coach Williams. I want to help the staff. I want to help us win as much as possible. And early on, being a GA for Coach Williams at Virginia Tech and then at Texas A&M, one of the roles I kind of found a niche is there's a lot of people who want to coach basketball. There's a lot of people who want to do the player development with the players, but there's not as many people who want to sit behind the computer and break down the film and break down the numbers.
I'm looking at one right now.
Exactly. So I'll sit there until my eyes bleed and stay late at night and stay after everyone else leaves if I have to. If that's what it takes to help us just get one more edge to potentially win a game or to help our players become a better version of themselves or our coaches a better version of themselves, that's what I hope to do.
Well, take us back to your days because you played the game.
Not super successfully, but yes, sir.
You played Division III, right?
Yes, sir.
Have you got the best office in that building over there? The new
that was a great plug by Seth Allen before he came on. I have been very blessed with a great office.
His office is in the hallway, isn't it?
Seth's is somewhere. He's never at it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But he's down on the floor with the guys all the time where he should be. I am blessed with a big shareable office space for guys to come visit whenever. So I've been very lucky with all that.
So you start off in Division III. Did you know at that point that you wanted to go into coaching?
So I like to joke that I think I've known that I wanted to go into coaching since elementary school. I think at a certain point it was a naive, like everybody wants to do what their dad does when they look up to them the way that I looked up to my dad. So I always thought, hey, coaching is what I want to do. I love basketball. I want to do it. And then as I got older, my parents had to talk with me, aggressively trying to talk me out of doing it, saying, hey, you'll never make money. You'll never have any free time. Your family will be
and he's still doing it too.
Right? And he kept doing it. So I was like, that's a little contradicting yourself. But it was great. And they tried to talk me out of it. And once they realized that they couldn't talk me out of it, I knew that it was what I wanted to do. And I've loved it ever since.
You got your degree in psychology too, right?
Yes, sir. I got my undergraduate in psychology. It was great.
What was the first job you got after you got out of college?
This was it. So I graduated college. I had accepted the job, the GA position with Coach probably
like 6 or 7 years ago.
I'm on year 8 with him right now. So 8 years ago, I accepted it a day after my birthday, had a Zoom interview with him. And about a month after that, I graduated from college. I drove home, spent half a week with my family, drove right back up to coach in Virginia and stayed with him ever since. So
wow. Mm-hmm. How did you separate analytics from just being a regular coach on a staff to work daily in practices and things like that?
I think a lot of it just comes from trying to constantly learn myself. So there's so many people across this space at all different levels that are so much more intelligent than I am. I am an idiot compared to most people in this space of analytics. So trying to help separate the basketball from the analytics mostly comes from trying to learn everything that I don't already know and trying to find more things that I don't know and realize where my process is lacking and where I can further gain more knowledge in that process and become more efficient in it. So finding more ways to learn numbers that can help our team. What are things that I should be looking at that I'm not looking at or that other people might not be looking at yet? And just finding ways to implement that into what we're doing.
You got to tell the story about how you kept sending Buzz Williams notes and letters and cards.
Yeah,
Here I am. I'm ready. If you have a spot, I can fill that spot.
That's all it was. I was desperate for a job. I was in college, and I just knew that, hey, my timeline of coaching in college as a student assistant is going to run out at some point. Because, like you said, I was an awful basketball player in college.
You said
I said it. I said it. I was a very bad basketball player who clapped a lot on the bench, and that was about it. But
Did you have the towel and everything?
I wasn't that good. I wasn't as good as those guys. But in college, I transitioned to a coaching role. So I got a lot of coaching experience in between the lines over my last 3 years of college. And then I'd spend the summers traveling, working different basketball camps across the country, one of which was Coach Williams at Virginia Tech. And I knew he was really into letters. So I got the idea to start writing him every single month, and just hoping that my name would keep coming across his desk and I'd potentially have a chance to get a job with him. And I carried that along to writing a lot of different coaches. So I actually have a whole box back home in my apartment of all the letters written back that he wrote me letters back, or different coaches wrote me letters back. So really cool, full circle when I get that.
How did he finally get a hold of you and say, okay, I've got your 14 letters here that you've sent. You got a job, okay? Back off with all the letters and cards.
Well, I was not naive enough to think that he was going to call me up every letter that I wrote him. So he wrote me back a couple times, but really, while I was writing him every month, I was trying to write everyone else on the staff every other month, and I was texting with them when Lyle Wolf and Devin Johnson, who are now assistant coaches, when they came to Indianapolis, which is near where I went to college, to recruit, I would say, hey, can I take you guys out to dinner, or can I meet up with you guys just for the day, or how can I talk to them? How can I send them notes that I took from different practices that I was going to when I was driving to Purdue to watch practice, or driving to Wisconsin to watch practice, wherever else, trying to pour value into them so that way they would want to help me out and speak kindly of me to Coach Williams.
Well, when we come back, we'll talk to TJ Ryan about analytics. A lot of people hear the word, have no idea what it means. He will explain it to you as best he can when we come back in just a minute.
From quote to cleanup, we move fast. Call Thompson Creek and get new windows in 2 weeks, roofing in 3 days, siding in 1 week, and gutters in just 48 hours. We cut out the middleman to give you better prices and faster service, because your home improvement project shouldn't take months. Skip the wait. Call now and get a free quote. And now, for a limited time, it's our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on everything. There's never been a better time to buy.
Home, sweet Thompson Creek.
At Planet Fitness, no two members are alike. Their routines are different. They use different equipment.
1, 2, 3.
And they do it for different reasons.
You're a mythical beast.
But they all have one thing in common.
You got this.
They're all strong.
That's right.
We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
One more, everybody.
One more? I got 5 more.
Before we talk Abbott Big Ten blood drive ideas, let's get in the competitive spirit with the scavenger hunt. I worked all weekend on that.
Save lives and help win your school $1 million.
It's okay. It's in your nature.
Is that what happened? We told me she tripped over. Terps was there.
Yeah, we can get some game days. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good.
Back in 10.
Right there.
In the scouting and the game preparation, TJ Ryan continues to apply extensive experience he has by creating in-depth opponent reports, managing performance and scouting analytics. He analyzes teams and plays tendencies and contributes to game planning and leads the collection of practice data to track performance trend. Is there anything you don't do? Because after a game is over, that's when your work begins during the game, doesn't it?
It's nonstop for everyone in our program, not just myself. So we're always working on different things 24/7, honestly. Just a little bit of time to sleep in between.
Well, when you talk about breaking down game films, what are you looking at?
It's a number of different things. I'm fortunate.
Things we're doing or things the opponent's doing?
Both. So we've got some live data that's fed to us by the hard work of our managers who are coding stuff that I've kind of given them code windows that we've created, which is fancy word for like scripts that gives us information on the game that's going on. So locations, shot types for ourselves, that's fed to us on the computer and on the iPads that we use on the benches, but then also stuff that we can digest at halftime, digest after the game, and kind of break down for ourselves and for the opponent to see where we're thriving and also where we're either struggling or where we're succeeding on the offensive and defensive side of the ball.
And the success of a team really depends a lot upon what you guys do.
I don't know about that. It depends on how hard we can fight, how hard we can play the way the coach wants to play, how hard we can buy into being all about everybody in the program, not just the 5 guys on the floor, having that aggressive mindset of, hey, we have to find a way to win in whatever lane that is for this specific game. And it might be different this Friday than it was this past Monday, than it might be at the end of this season. So
you take stuff from practice as well?
Yes, sir. We're doing a lot of stuff in practice, video and analytically for sure. We're videoing everything, and we're trying to break down as much as we can, as much data from our practice as possible. We talk about it a lot, but the NBA is like a big analytical population, and everybody talks about all the numbers that they have there, and they have all this really cool technology that feeds them even more information, but they also have almost 3 times the games that we have. Yeah, so
exactly,
we have to use practices. We practice way more than the NBA does. We practice the level that they play games. So we have to use that information to inform ourselves on faster decisions and make decisions, because by the time we get 5 or 7 games into the season here, that's equivalent to 25% of their schedule or their season in the NBA level. So we have to make faster decisions at the college level and make quicker adjustments to what's happening with our team.
Where do you go? Where do you go from that right now with the analytics, TJ? When you look ahead, maybe a year or 2 down the road, what else would help teams? I mean, you cover almost every base here.
I think there's always more. There's going to be a new wave of technology coming in with all the AI stuff that's coming in. We're seeing more and more of that in analytics, but also in video software that's breaking down stuff for teams. And how can we? It's trimming some of the fat of people that are needed to do the hard work for stuff, that then allows you take those same people and you use them to help digest the information, help interpret the information to pass along, because I can break down all the numbers that the paper gives me after a game, but we still have to find a way to translate that into vocabulary and words that and terminology that our players will understand, so that way they can use it. Because as much as I want to say, hey, they've got a basket assist rate of whatever percent, that doesn't matter unless our players know, hey, they're going to drive. When they get middle, they're going to pop their feet. They're going to find the right pass. And when they do that, that's a bad thing for our defense.
How much do you take from the stat sheet, the final stat sheet after a game? They hand it to you. And what do you look at first? Points, turnovers, rebounds, points in the paint, points off turnovers?
A lot of all of it. In our program, we're looking at rebounds first, a lot. Our rebound percentage, the opponent rebound percentage, and how we can best win that rebounding margin. We're looking at our efficiency shooting and efficiency defensively, and how we can take care of the ball and maximize shot potential, where we get a shot every single possession, if not more than one shot, and they get less than a shot every possession or one shot.
I don't think anybody ever envisioned basketball being at this particular point, having things like this as a major part of any basketball program. And the success rate with the teams that use it, like you do, like we do at Maryland,
yes, sir,
are a little bit ahead of the rest of them.
We would like to hope that we are, and hope that we can continue to be. But that's the challenge, is continue trying to be ahead of not just the people who are using this and aren't using this, but the people that are using this at the highest level. And can you be one of those people who are using it at a higher level and ahead of the curve in whatever realm that might be, analytics, or however we're going about recruiting, or however we're going about relationships with our players, or anything else along those lines.
Do you meet with players individually?
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, we've got a very big family atmosphere, so we're all spending so much time together. I'll spend time with them one-on-one, but so will all of our coaches, or maybe I'll use that information to give to our coaches, so that way they can sit down with the players and reconnect with them in that way, in a different way.
What do you like best about being here? Downtown Silver Springs?
As far as the state of Maryland, being in downtown Silver Springs is a pretty nice spot. So exactly. I love the atmosphere. I'm really looking forward to the seasons. The season's changing right now. I grew up in St. Petersburg, Florida, where it's hot and hotter
and humid.
Yeah. And then I went to Indiana, where it was cold and gloomy a lot. And I got Virginia, which had the seasons like this. But then we went to Texas, and it was hot and hot again. So
do you ever think about maybe being just a full-time coach, or is your avenue always going to be in analytics?
I would definitely like to be a full-time coach. And all I want to do is help our program win as much as possible. And if that role right now looks as to be the director of basketball strategy and analytics, or whatever made up title I have 2 more years from now, great. Or if that looks like being an assistant coach one day, or if that looks like being a head coach somewhere else one day, I want to help our program while I'm here. And and I want to be here for as long as Coach Williams will
Let's
have
say
me.
when the game is over on Monday night, you'll go to work right after that game until what time on Tuesday morning?
It depends on how much work we got done ahead of time and how that game went, but hopefully not too late, but usually later than I'd like to admit.
TJ, it's been great having you.
Thank you so much for
I
having me.
learned a lot, believe me.
I
Thank
did
you.
too.
Thank
Yes,
you so
sir.
much. TJ Ryan, Director of Basketball Strategy and Analytics at the University of Maryland. Back in just a minute on the Maryland Sports Radio Network.
From quote to cleanup, we move fast. Call Thompson Creek and get new windows in 2 weeks, roofing in 3 days, siding in 1 week, and gutters in just 48 hours. We cut out the middleman to give you better prices and faster service, because your home improvement project shouldn't take months. Skip the wait. Call now and get a free quote. And now, for a limited time, it's our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on everything. There's never been a better time to buy.
At Planet Fitness, no two members are alike. Their routines are different. They use different equipment.
1, 2, 3.
And they do it for different reasons.
You're a mythical beast.
But they all have one thing in common.
Hey, you got this. Come on.
They're all strong.
That's right.
We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
One more, everybody.
One more? I got 5 more.
Before we talk Abbott Big Ten blood drive ideas, let's get in the competitive spirit with the scavenger hunt. I worked all weekend on that.
Save lives and help win your school $1 million.
It's okay. It's in your nature.
Yes, just walk behind there. Say Johnny would play something.
He came in like 2 to 4 seconds, shut it up, and walked right up.
Not quite ready.
No worries.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on.
He will just come over and say, hey, guys, how you doing? Don't be reading the notes here. He's awesome.
It's third final segment. We're going to be the last segment.
I know.
We're reordering.
You threw me for a curveball.
Me too.
One, two, three. I'm gonna go check on my car. Oh, of course. I got back the other night. It was non-functional.
Okay.
Transmission line burst. There was a lake of transmission fluid under my car. So, all right, you good? Yeah. Good. Don't look happy. It'll get there.
Two minutes, you want? Go ahead. No need.
Okie dokies. 3, 2, and 1. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Maryland Terrapins. Whether you're buying or selling basketball tickets, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek for basketball fans everywhere. Well, the game coming up on Friday night against the Georgetown Hoyas, the first of a 4-game series. It's the first time in nearly a decade the Terps have played against the Georgetown Hoyas at Capital One Arena back in 2027 and 28. It'll be back there for the next meeting with Georgetown. Then we come back to College Park for the next one in 2028 and 29. From 1935 to 1980, the Hoyas and Terrapins met at least once annually, with the exception of a 3-year pause because of World War II. The series dates way back to 1911, a 31-25 win for Georgetown. And just thinking about the games that I've done against Maryland and Georgetown, first one was 1979. The Hoyas won that one. Then again in 1980, they won that one. The Terrapins didn't play until 13 years later when they played the Hoyas, and that was the game that Joe Smith had a tremendous breakout game at the USA Arena in Landover. He had 26 points. Dwayne Simpkins hit the game winner in overtime, and the Terrapins won that ball game in 93. It was the final was 84-83. The next year, the Terps won again. The next meeting, they played them in 2001. Maryland came out on top 76-66, and they won the last 2 meetings. In 2016, they won it 76-75. Then again, November 17th of 2015, 1 year earlier, they won that one 75-71. Maryland at home against Georgetown, 18-8. In Cold Fieldhouse, they went 17-6. They've only played them one time at Xfinity Center, and that was a Maryland victory. And on the road, the Terps are 16-15. And keeping in mind, on Friday night, it's Gold Rush night at Xfinity, an expected sold-out stadium student crowd. Atmosphere will be great. The crowd will be tremendous. And we urge you, Maryland fans, to wear gold for the Gold Rush. And it's going to be loud, going to be crazy. A full student section can be big support for the basketball team. A lot of special promotions coming up on Friday night. They're expecting a sold-out student section at Georgetown. Visit Xfinity for the first time. since 2015. When we come back, we'll hear from head coach Buzz Williams. He'll talk about the Hoyas and the Terrapins meeting on Friday night in just a minute on the Maryland Sports Radio Network.